Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kia Hyundai channel. My name is Gabi and right behind me is the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Preferred Plus Trend Package. Now the Trend Package is a $3,700 add-on from the model below it, which is just the Preferred, and it is by far one of our best-selling trim levels for the Hyundai Tucson. It's also the highest trim level you can get before you hop into either hybrid or plug-in hybrid territory. So if you're looking for a well-equipped vehicle under $40,000 Canadian, oh my goodness, this could be the car for you. We're doing a full in-depth live stream, so we'll talk exterior, styling, tech, safety, you name it, we're talking about it all in this video. Now the best part about doing it live is whoever's watching in real time can leave questions in the chat below, and as I'm still doing the walkthrough, we can go ahead and answer them. We also dedicate a few minutes towards the end of this video just to answering some questions, so feel free to leave whatever you'd like to know in the comments down below, and I will get to them. Till then, let's just get right into it. So the price point of this vehicle, Adam, you can go ahead and flip the camera if you'd like, is $38,399 Canadian. That is the MSRP. And then keep in mind, this is $3,700 added on from just the straight Preferred model. Now, what you get in the Trend Package is largely going to be tech-focused as well as convenience-focused. We'll see a lot of it on the inside, but first, let's talk about the exterior styling. On the front end, we have a dark chrome front grille that is one of the Trend's elements. So when this grille, or when the vehicle, I should say, is off completely, the lights almost hide themselves. They camouflage into the grille piece. I'll turn them off in a second, but before we do that, we'll talk about what our lighting is. Everything on this vehicle will be an LED. That's going to be our headlamps, our daytime running lights that hide inside the grille, as well as our tail lights and our interior lights. I'll show the rest later. For styling, again, everything is just going to have that dark matte finish over here. So our front bumper has a gunmetal approach rather than just straight black everywhere. And then lower on in our grille, we'll just have matte black. For your skid plate, it again is that dark gunmetal, not too bright, not too dark. It doesn't look like everything's black plastic. There's a lot more design on the Trend than we get in the typical Preferred. As far as safety goes, we do have forward collision avoidance on this vehicle that'll pick up pedestrians, cyclists, and of course other motorized vehicles, with also giving you the ability to give you a warning if there's a sense of a collision or a risk of a collision while making a left at an intersection or a junction. So great tech and safety on this vehicle. Let's turn off those lights and see how they hide within the grille, and then we'll take a look at what's under the hood. I'll warn you guys, this is my first live stream back after a little bit of vacation, so I might be a little bit rusty, but don't worry, the specs are right, and the conversation will be there. So feel free again to leave any questions in the chat below. So now that I've gone ahead and turned off the lights, hopefully you could see how the lights truly hide within the design of the car. You can't really tell that on the far ends, our daytime running lights are lights at all. So I'm gonna have Adam come a little bit closer so you can see how it's almost a dark chrome painted material for the lens itself, completely hiding everything. This is one of my favorite little details on this car. I really do think it makes a big difference in styling in my eyes. Now I did pop the hood, so let's take a look at what's underneath. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the highest trim level you can get before you get into hybrid territory. So, as you could expect, this is a straight gasoline vehicle. We have a 2.5 liter, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It's going to produce 187 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque. Tied to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's a regular automatic. So we got a torque converter, and there's no dual clutch, there's no IVTs, none of those pulleys, smooth shifting, and trustworthy automatic. Now in terms of the fuel injection for the regular gas engine, we have both GDI, which is gasoline direct injection, and MPI, multi-point injection. This is great for both high load and low load driving. A lot of the times in previous vehicles that use straight GDI, there was the issue of carbon buildup. So that's exactly where MPI comes into play here to reduce the carbon buildup under low load operating conditions. For your fuel consumption, you can average about 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers, and the Tucson here in Canada is standard with all-wheel drive. So we have all-wheel drive already included in this package. All right, let's take a look at the wheels. For your wheels, the Trend Package gets you 18-inch alloys. We got a two-tone finish, so there is a dark gunmetal approach with a little bit of machine finish too, so a nice two-tone. Your tire is a Nexen all-season tire, and our size spec, sorry, it's in a horrible spot for me to read because of the tire shine, but we're 235/60 R18s for our tire size on this vehicle. Ventilated disc brakes are up at the front with solid disc brakes in the rear, and like I mentioned, all-wheel drive is standard on this vehicle. Few fun things, or I guess things I'd like to share with you about the all-wheel drive system. It does have a front-wheel drive bias, so if it's just regular dry pavement that you're driving on, it's primarily front-wheel drive to give you better fuel efficiency and put less strain on your drivetrain. However, if it senses a little bit of slippage, it'll put more power to the rear automatically to give you the all-wheel drive that you need. Same thing if you're launching your vehicle from a standstill or you really need to get up to speed, it'll incorporate more power from the rear for stability and just enhanced traction. Now, if you as a driver would like to put your vehicle in either snow, mud, or sand mode, those are all available in the driver's cockpit area, and that puts you in a predetermined torque spec for those driving conditions. So mud mode and sand mode are a 50-50 split for the front and the rear, and snow mode is about an 80-20 split. 80 in the front, 20 in the rear, but it can go down if you are on lower speeds. Pretty cool. All right, let's talk about the rest of the styling. For our windshield, we have an acoustic windshield, so that just gives you a quieter cabin. Your wipers will also be rain sensing wipers, and of course we have the automatic function. For your mirrors, we get the slight satin chrome finish towards the tip end, and we also have an LED turn signal indicator. This is great because vehicles ahead of you can see you in their mirrors. They'll see if you're indicating a lane change, but the glow also shines from the rear too, so if anyone's behind you, or whether they're in the adjacent lane or whatnot, they can still see a little bit of glow from your indicator. On the mirror portion is where we'll get our blind spot detection indicator. Anytime there's a vehicle in your left or right blind spot, that'll illuminate passively just to give you an extra warning that there's a car there. And then if you're actively indicating a lane change, it will beep too, just to give you a more audible warning. So you get the visual and you get the audible. In worst case scenario, if you still try to change lanes, the vehicle will give opposing brake force to avoid a collision in your blind spot area. Your door handles may not look like there's too much going on, but if you look closely, you might notice 3 little lines. This indicates that this car has proximity entry, so as long as the key is somewhere on me, whether it be my pocket or in my hand, I can simply walk up to either the driver or passenger side door handle, put my hand on it, and the car will unlock for me, and then once I'm done driving, give it a press to lock it again. If you want to take things a couple techie steps further, the Trend package will also introduce digital key, so that allows you to unlock, start, and drive your vehicle using your smartphone. This is all, of course, if you do use your Blue Link, which is Hyundai's telematics system that allows you to unlock your vehicle, check the status of it, if your windows are open, doors are open, all from your phone. That's free for 3 years, and I definitely recommend using it if you do have it equipped in your car. All right, now on the overall body style of the vehicle, I'll have Adam take a couple steps back just to get the full pan. The Tucson is very much SUV. So it is considered a smaller SUV, but you will not feel small at all inside the cabin. There is a ton of space. It's also greatly versatile and easy to park. One thing I do love about it is the fact that it's a 2-row vehicle. So you got your seats up at the front and your seats in the rear. That means you can comfortably seat 5 passengers and still have all of their goods in the cargo area because you don't have a 3rd row or bench captain's chairs in the middle where you're worried about folding a seat down just to get more space. So there's a ton of room. As far as the fuel tank size goes, it's a 54-liter tank, and the consumption again is about 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Your rear suspension is a multi-link rear suspension, and then here is a great convenience function that starts on this trim level. So your liftgate will be not only power opening or a smart liftgate, but it also has a proximity function. So I know a lot of other car manufacturers do this thing where you gotta kick underneath the vehicle to trigger a sensor and have it open for you. On this vehicle, you can simply walk up to it. If you stand here for 3 seconds, it'll automatically open if the key is on you. It's great because you don't have to drop your stuff down or risk losing your balance. It'll just open for you. You can also shut it off, which we've done here. As far as space goes back here, maybe this will help me make more sense in terms of explaining seating versus cargo space. So let's talk about the Kia Sorento, for example. The Kia Sorento is technically a larger vehicle, or even the Hyundai Santa Fe. It's technically a larger vehicle than the Tucson we have here today. However, on the Kia Sorento, for certain trim levels, and it's most trim levels, if you want 6 seats, you get captain's chairs in the middle with 2 seats in the rear. That means if I need to take 5 people with me, I have to use one of the seats that are in the 3rd row, and you lose a lot of space here. On the Tucson, that's not the case. As you can see, we have 5 comfortable seats right up there, driver, passenger, and 3 in the rear, and then all of this usable cargo space. Now, if no one's sitting back here and you just want space, knock down your rear seats nice and easy. They all go down in a 60-40 split, and you've basically got a pickup truck, except it's completely enclosed. Underneath the floorboard, you'll also get a temporary spare tire or a compact spare, which is a great peace of mind. And as you can see, again, just a ton of space. The height of this vehicle is not too tall, so depending on what you're putting back here, you don't have to lift it too high. It's just a nice, easy slide-in height. All right. Now, if you do plan on towing with this vehicle, the gas model will give you 3,500 pounds of towing capacity, and like I said, this is the highest trim level you can get before getting a hybrid. The hybrid will only give you 2,000 pounds of towing capacity. All right, quick look at the rear end. I will hit the brake lights just to show you guys our LED tail lamps. Our spoiler houses our high mounted stop lamp and also our rear wiper. It's just nicely tidied underneath. You'll get your Hyundai emblem behind our rear glass. And then we do have our Tucson badging and our H-Track badging on the right-hand side. Adam, if you'd just like to stay there while I hit the brakes, and I'll also turn on the turn signal indicators. So brake lamps there, full lights are on now. You can see the bright LEDs. These are our turn signal indicators. And then Adam, if you don't mind walking over to the front, we'll show how they look for our front lamps and also our side indicators on the mirror. So these will be your turn signals, but of course your hazards too if you do have them on. Very nice, you guys. Now, I almost forgot to mention the paint color today. This is called Deep Sea Blue. Probably looks black on camera, but it's very much a navy blue. Just like my shirt. Probably looks black on camera, but it's navy blue. All right, let's take a look inside. I'm just gonna hop in the driver's seat to talk about one of the big convenience functions we have added on to this trim level. That is the power driver's seat. So it's an 8-way, meaning I can adjust not only the distance from my dash, but also the height, and even tilt it if I'd like. You can also change your backrest, and you have 2-way lumbar support to get you that perfect back adjustment. For your door, we have a mix of nice soft touch materials, so there's a little bit of fabric here and a little bit of a leatherette too, a tiny bit of gloss black. Your windows are automatic or one-touch express windows for driver and passenger with regular automatic in the rear. Then we have our mirror controls. By the driver's knee area, that's where you'll find your brightness adjustments for your screen, your your lift release for your tailgate, and then your traction control and electronic parking brake. The steering wheel is heated and leather wrapped, and you also have paddle shifters mounted on the rear, so that'll allow you to upshift or downshift between your 8 gears. Gonna take the camera from Adam and show you guys our gauge cluster. This trim level is your starting trim for a fully digitized 12.3-inch gauge cluster. So this will always project your speed and your tachometer. So your speedometer on the left, tach on the right. Then in the very center, you can customize what's displayed by pressing this button here. Now this button will allow you to see your trip, as well as your lane assistance safety. And then if I scroll down under the trip, I can see since refueling, since last reset, all the way up to our auto stop, tire pressure, and all-wheel drive torque distribution. So whatever you like to view while you're driving, you can see that, but most customers are always asking to see some sort of digital gauge. For your speedometer, this will always be displayed. Fuel is right underneath, and then on the right-hand side under our tach is where you'll see your temperature display. Very nice. The left-hand side, we have quick controls for our smart cruise control. So you can turn it on with this button here, set your speed with the plus and minus, and then the bottom control will allow you to set the following distance. To the right of that, we have our steering assistance with the lane follow assist. So essentially, that system will use the camera mounted in the center of your windshield to always keep you centered in your lane. It's not one of those systems that beep at you or freak out at you if you start to kind of ride the left or the right. It'll actively correct you in advance, so it's a proactive feature rather than a reactive feature. There is also the reactive one too, so if you do like the safety function that beeps at you or kind of shakes the wheel when you start to depart, there's 2 separate functions on this car, lane follow and lane keep. We've got both of them. Now on the right side of the steering wheel is more so for media controls. We got our voice commands up on the top right, looks like a little talking face. The mode will change our media modes, and then with these toggles here, I can cycle between our next station or next song, and the right-hand side will be our volume control. It's a dial, so you just simply scroll up or scroll down to adjust it. Below that, we have a phone button to answer a call, and then this little star will take you to your favorites menu where you can choose what it does. So let me click home, and now every time I press that star, it jumps us to our home screen. So this car is very customizable. I'll now have Adam join me on the passenger side, and we'll go over the main center screen. So this display is another 12.3-inch screen, and I know what you're thinking. Wow, cars, they keep getting bigger and so do the screens. Well, yes, that is the case. But the screen is not extra or overly complicated. It's fairly simple because it mimics a smartphone in a way. If you scroll down from the top, it takes you to a quick menu where you can change the brightness or turn the display off. And then if you'd like to adjust the way your menu looks, all you do is press and hold, and you can rearrange the icons with a simple drag and drop. So you can make this as easy or as complicated as you like, but either way, you make it to your liking. It's not set in stone, it's customizable to you. There's also driver profiles, so right now I'm in guest, but if this was your car, you'd have it say your name, and that way every change you make is saved to your driver profile, and if someone else drives your car, they can have their own account too. All right, now here's something notable about this screen that we didn't have in the previous generation Tucson, and that is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are now wireless. Now before we had it wireless, but only on our smaller screens. All trim levels for this year in 2026 will have the wireless connectivity thanks to this new software called CCNC. That's Car Connected Navigation Cockpit. All right, now right underneath we have...
Someone's asking, what does quiet mode do?
What does quiet mode do? So great question. And that's what I mean about doing these videos live, allows us to answer questions in real time. Quiet mode is a function that when turned on, mutes the speakers in the rear of the car. So if you have kids or pets that could be sleeping, it gives them a little bit more of a quiet space, and you can still listen to your music or media as the driver or front passenger. So it's a great question. We actually just did a video on it too, if you're curious. All right, right below our main screen, we have a couple of vents. So you just adjust the direction, close the vents, open the vents, totally up to you. And then below that, we have real buttons and real dials for our media controls. So again, if I press home, it jumps me to my home screen. The map icon is reserved to your phone's maps because this specific trim level does not have in-house navigation. And we also have a dedicated search menu. So this search menu is fantastic if this is your first new car in a while. You might be really struggling to find, let's say, the date and time menu. All you have to do is go to search and then type in what you're looking for, which is date and time. It'll then take me directly to that specific menu. So it's kind of a Google or search engine for your car, and it is extremely helpful. Below that, we have our climate control menu. So this is a mix of some screen type buttons, but some physical dials too. So I can set my temperature to my preferred temp, and then your passenger can also have their own too. It is dual zone climate. If I'd like to sync it, all I have to do is press down on sync and everything's matched. To adjust your fan speed, you'll press on either the larger fan or the smaller fan. And then you can also turn on your heated steering wheel and your heated seats from this screen control too. It's worth noting that if you do choose to use the Hyundai Blue Link app, you can pre-warm or pre-cool your cabin and also turn on things like the heated seats and heated steering wheel from your phone. It's one of my favorite things about my previous Kia Forte. Oh, so nice getting into a warm car in the winter. I miss her. All right, now right underneath our climate control menu, we have two USB-Cs. The one on the far left is for data connectivity and charging, and the one on the right is simply for charging. There's also a 12-volt inverter and a fair amount of storage space here too. So one thing that they did on the Tucson's refresh was remove the gear shift from the console area. You may have not noticed, but I'm going to point it out now. Our gear shift is mounted on the steering column, so it's a shift by wire or twist style gear shift. As long as your foot's on the brake, you can twist it over for drive, and then P on the end for park when you're done. Very easy to use, and it frees up so much space in the center console. So now let's talk about what we have with that newfound space. We've got a wireless phone charger right over here, and it is elevated, so that's going to reduce the amount that your phone heats up when on a wireless charger. Above that, we have our drive and terrain mode select. So by pressing on the button itself, I can switch it between drive and terrain. And then to change the mode, I can use this toggle here. So when I'm doing this, on my gauge cluster, I can see that I can select between snow, mud, and sand mode for terrain. And then for our drive modes, there's normal, sport, and my drive. I'm just going to answer a frequently asked question about this right now, just to get it out of the way. You can't be in mud mode and sport mode at the same time, or normal mode and snow mode at the same time. It's one or the other. So if you put your car in snow mode to get you out of a very snowy driveway, but then you don't want it to be on anymore, just go ahead and put your car back into normal mode or into sport mode, whatever it may be. It'll cancel out snow mode for you and can make the whole all-wheel drive system be automatic based, so the car will just do it on its own. Hope that answers a future question. Now, to the left of this area, we have 2 cup holders, and then right back and above, we have a bunch of other buttons. Now, this one is auto hold. It pretty much holds you at a full and complete stop when you press the brake pedal, and then releases when you hit the gas. Then we have our idle stop and go. That's a temporary engine shutoff when you're sitting at a red light or a stop. Then we have our downhill braking assist and our park view camera. Every time you throw the vehicle in reverse, you'll get a look at your backup camera, but if you just like to watch it while you're parked, that button is what it'll do. You can get a widescreen view, a top-down view, or the typical backup view. All right, I could not talk about the Trend package without mentioning the big elephant in the room, which is the massive sunroof. So we get a panoramic sunroof starting on this trim level. Now, the glass pane itself extends all the way to the rear, but if you'd like it to open, it stops at about here. You can also have it in the tilt method instead, so if you don't want too much wind in the car, but you want some fresh air, that is a great option to do. I'm just going to demonstrate it for you guys. There you go. So a slight dent to get that fresh air in or that hot air out without bringing in too much wind or potentially bugs. All right, give that a close. Now your map lights or interior lights are also LEDs. Very nice. And I think we should go check out the rear now. We'll turn the car off and we'll go take a look. So the Tucson does a great job in giving you a comfortable rear seat. Your 2 main seats are extra wide, and they have that same perforated leather design for the inserts. If you'd like to recline these seats, both of the main, so left and right seat, will have a lever on the side that allows you to recline the seat to about here. This is the maximum level, which gives you a very comfortable rear seat experience. As far as amenities back here, the Trend package is where you'll really get the enhancement. So we do get not only the leatherette seats, but 2 USB-Cs back here, as well as our mesh net pockets and our air vents. So it's really just the USB-Cs in the leather pocket that make a big difference, but it's still nice to know we have air ventilation back here. We got seats that recline, and we got a drop-down cup holder and armrest. So very comfortable rear seat indeed. As you can see for me, I'm not cramped for space at all. So we got lots of leg room. I can extend my legs to my liking. Let me actually just bring the seat back up so it looks more normal. There we go. Lots of room to extend my legs. I've got a fair amount of knee room. Keep in mind, this seat is not all the way forward. It's how I would have driven it, and I don't drive it all the way up in the engine bay. And as far as headroom goes, I've got a good amount of space between the top of my head and the roof of the vehicle. Now, you do lose a little bit of headroom anytime you do get a sunroof in a vehicle, but it's very marginal. The only time you'd notice it really is if you are someone whose normal head posture is at the maximum of the sunroof. So it's a very comfortable rear seat. Your lights back here will also be LEDs. They're mounted right by our handle. And we also have a small clip located here too, if you need to hang anything like a jacket or suit. All right, I think that's about it for the back seats here. I'll have Adam show the bottle holders that are located on the door card. Then we have a little bit of piano black around our window controls, and then a nice matte or satin chrome painted door handle. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and answer some of your questions and see what you guys have to say about the Tucson Preferred with Trend. Again, package-wise, this is a $3,700 add-on package from the model below, giving you a grand total of $38,399 Canadian. So again, an MSRP that's under $40,000 Canadian, gives you all-wheel drive, a great amount of space, power liftgate, leather seats, panoramic sunroof, a lot of technology, and a really good price point. Let's see what we've got for questions. Alan said, we don't get this model in Cyprus. The N-Line is the top model. So the N-Line is the middle model here in Canada. So one trim level up from this gets you to the Tucson N-Line, which again has the sportier styling elements, but it is going to have a hybrid powertrain. On a positive note, Canada has shifted the import of the Hyundai Tucson from the US to South Korea. That's a huge win for Team Canada. That is absolutely right. Someone said also the speed alert is annoying. So the speed alert can be shut off. There's a few different speed alerts, so I don't know which one you're exactly mentioning. One of which is the speed camera alert. So if you have a vehicle that's equipped with navigation, chances are you may have heard this weird chime or ding anytime you drive past an intersection that has a speed camera, depending on where you live. Maybe you don't have any of those in your area, but I know I had them. You can shut that off in your navigation menu if you do not like it. Now the other one is the actual speed limit warning that's on the dash. That will change into red if you are going over the speed limit. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about real quick. I'll also show you the menu at which you can change some of the safety functions on the car. So we're getting a little bit of extra in-depth tutorial on this video. So when your vehicle is on, you can slide on over and go to setup. From setup, there's a vehicle menu, and then from here, you'll go to driver assistance. Once you're in this menu here, you can go to this speed limit category, and here's where you can change what the car does. So right now, it's on speed limit warning. That means that if it's a limit of 60, like displayed over here, sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus, but it doesn't want to. There we go. It'll illuminate in red if I'm going over the speed limit. Speed limit information just tells you what the speed limit is, but it won't change to red if you're going over. And speed limit assist adjusts your speed based on the current speed limit of the road. Now I know a lot of people are not a fan of this, so most would probably rather have the warning or the information. You can also shut it off completely if it's not your cup of tea. So just to show you where it shows up on the car, it'll be right on your gauge cluster, located over there. Right now it's showing ... because we are inside a building and there is no speed limit inside building, so feel free to go whatever speed you like. Just kidding. Okay, let's answer some other questions. Someone asked why there's a sticker on the back of my iPad. I don't know. It was there and I never took it off. I'm pretty sure it's from my boarding pass when we went to Texas last year, but yeah, I don't know why it's still there. I'm just going to turn up the brightness of my phone, so bear with me, you guys. Have you received allotments of the PHEV Sportage? So we have not gotten the refresh Sportage PHEV yet. We've only gotten hybrids and the regular gas models. Ryan had said, please like and subscribe. And yeah, if you guys are on right now and you haven't subscribed or liked this video already, please consider doing so, both of which are free to do, and they really do help out this channel, and they make me smile. So if not one, maybe the other. Mazerborn asked how I liked Texas. I really, really enjoyed it. So I went there for, I went in Austin, Texas, or to Austin, Texas, for a cool event for Kia Canada. We got to drive the K4 for the first time, and that was really exciting. Beautiful city, so much like good food. The people are really nice too. I really enjoyed our time there. I wish we had more time there. Wayne said, hi, I have a 2025 Rockwood Green Tucson Preferred, and my seat at the back doesn't have a pocket case, only on the passenger side. I see on your vehicle you have it on both sides. Yeah, so we have the mesh net pocket on both sides for this specific vehicle. Now, I'm not sure where you're based. I do know here in Canada our vehicles are usually spec'd out or trimmed out a bit differently than people in the States or other markets, but this is the Canadian spec. Is there any recalls on the Tucson? So I'm not familiar with any as of right now. Now, depending on where you are and when you got your Tucson, so when it was produced, that could factor in whether there is an open recall or not. Because sometimes it's not necessarily for 2024 model years. It might be for, you know, vehicles built between November and another month. So the best way to check if your vehicle has an open recall, if you didn't receive a message in your mail, is to check on Hyundai Canada's website and type in your vehicle's VIN. Typically, if you do service at a Kia or Hyundai dealership, they will tell you if your vehicle has an open recall. Gabi, genuine question, do you like country music? I do, actually. Honestly, I like every genre of music. There isn't really a genre I don't like. I either like a song or I don't like a song. All right, you guys. I think that might be about it for today's video as far as questions go. MG said, Gabi, Kahoot, anyone. So funny you say that. This is actually the first day in maybe 2 months that we did a sales team Kahoot. So I quizzed them on the Sportage, the Kia Sportage, and they did a pretty good job. But I think that's about it for today's video, like I said earlier. If anything comes to mind and you guys are watching this in the future, please feel free to leave a comment in the chat, or not in the chat, in the comment box down below, because I still monitor them. This is my life, you guys. The first thing I do when I wake up is check YouTube Studio to see if we got any new comments, so it'll make my day if you have questions for me. All right, take care, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow live at 2 p.m. Bye-bye.